Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So the first thing that strikes me with this current move down, this current price action is just how similar it is to this move down that we had here. We obviously had this period here where we were sat at the highs, making lower highs. And a couple of lower lows, as you can see, exactly the same as here. We then had our initial move down, and we then traded sideways for a bit, as you can see, sideways for a bit with some lower lows and some lower lows, and then we came down again. We then traded sideways, had one last push down, and an absolute Bitcoin scam wick down as it does before it then basically rallies from the low of that wick to the high of the next move of over 25%. So are we going to play out something similar here? Are we going to consolidate a little bit longer here? Are we going to wick down, take out of this low on a nice little liquidity hunt under 40k? And then wick all the way back up, or are we going to take a a liquidity hunt and then continue? So that obviously technically wouldn't be a liquidity hunt. That would just be a a down market. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I am looking for some sort of a bounce here that may even get follow through this time to the upside, basically to all-time highs. And obviously that is basically one of the scenarios. So we can get a nice bounce here. It could ultimately stall out and come down for another leg down, or it could basically keep the momentum going and continue upwards like we didn't manage this time. I don't think the macro bull run is over. So if we did get the move up, there's every chance that on this occasion we could then continue onwards and upwards. But either way we can just play it in real time. We are trapped currently in this range here, so it is a little easier to read than it was last time when we were kind of just sat at a level trading above and below. We've got more of a defined range here to actually get over, so let's call it 47,000, close 4 hours above 47,000, and then yeah, we could be looking at the beginning of a nice move up, even if we do consolidate for a little bit of a time between that 47 and 50,000. In much the same way as we made an initial move up here, we traded sideways within this range and then back tested that level. We could get back up to here, up to about 50,000, come and back test the 47,000 level before then continuing upwards. So fractals aren't, it's not like I don't find them good, but fractals aren't things that I kind of look firstly at as exactly how the market's going to play out, but this just look very similar. So it would potentially play out in a similar fashion, even if it is just the initial part of we consolidate down here, we don't come any lower, and then we do make a move to the upside. So that is what I am looking at here. I mean, obviously, if we take out this level, we're heading into the 30Ks, and we'll just be looking for a next bounce point, which could pretty much just be the 38,000. We could end up coming down to 38,000. But yeah, at that point, the whole bull run then will look a bit in jeopardy then, and we realistically have targets into obviously the 20Ks over time, and then obviously decide is the actual macro uptrend completely over Bitcoin if we took out 20k. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that is a scenario. If I had to guess, it would be we would play some upside. Then, I mean, I guess I'd have to say I'm relatively 60-40 that we then would actually continue on upwards this time to all-time highs as opposed to get rejected. But if we were to get rejected, this trend line would look a nice level to get rejected at, which well, depending when we came in at it, would probably be around the 53,000. Which would be this level here. So if we are looking for a bounce to get rejected, that bounce could, and as you can also see, it's pretty much halfway of this move here is around the 53,000. And then if we do get above that, then yeah, you would guess we are going to come and take out 58.5 and continue upwards. If we get rejected there and come down, then you do kind of have to entertain the idea that we're going to have another one of these big legs down, and we're definitely going to take out this level here if that was the case. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at there. Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, sort of flagging out here, not looking too bad, holding up well. The Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, holding down there, obviously with certain altcoins having some nice moves. Obviously some of the Polkadot ones with the parachain auctions coming up soon, and then potentially going live, and then also Matic as well is doing particularly well. If we look at the Ethereum US dollar pairing, you can see that it's trying to regain these horizontals if it wants to actually load my annotations. Here we go. Yeah, trying to regain these horizontals. Supported this one, back testing this one again. Obviously if we get back above here, then we could be looking at continuation in this trend. We've probably got some more resistance around this level, so we'll draw that in. So yeah, I mean, and then obviously if we get above here, which is say 3,800, then yeah, we will probably be looking at taking out this all-time high and heading towards the 5Ks. So stock markets also not looking too bad. Had a bit of a wobble along with Bitcoin. I mean, this would have been partly responsible. These markets are correlated, very correlated still. This would have been partly responsible for the move down we've had in Bitcoin, just general risk off. But yeah, as you can see, this is recovering nicely. This is more than halfway above the actual high to low of here. So that then indicates basically continuing onwards and upwards and back to highs, back to all-time highs. What else I want to look at? Silver is making that move, as you can see. If my annotations load up here, you can see we have got that basically big flag. We have also got this important horizontal that we have literally just tagged at the moment. But I mean, taking this out, I mean, however you really wanted to draw this larger pennant, you would have to kind of assume we're out of it. We've broken to the upside, and then realistically $40 plus targets for silver are on the cards. Gold as well. How's Peter Schiff doing as well? I mean, yeah, gold is obviously moving up as well. As you can see, it is hit a level. I mean, it's obviously not looking as, it's clearly not looking as bullish as silver. We can see that, but yeah, if it gets above this level, it can start grinding out these levels and go on upwards. But I think a lot of the assignment is going to be in silver, and then I think this is obviously going to be reflected with this gold silver ratio. As you can see, looking like it wants to take another leg down. So interesting times for precious metals. Obviously, here we go. This is what we have also been looking for. This breakdown in the dollar, which we said is going to be a tailwind basically for stocks and Bitcoin and everything really. This is, I mean, to be honest, there's my target. Actually sub 88. We're on an 89 handle now anyway, just on an 89 handle, but yeah, I mean, this is looking a bearish AF. Obviously lower highs, lower lows, and we are gunning for a lower low, in which case we're going to see acceleration. I mean, we all know about the magic money tree and all that cool stuff. There are obviously opposing narratives from what for the most part I would just call attention seekers, attention-seeking newsletter writers that just want to go against the trend because it's like it's a high reward trade, isn't it? If they are right, and they can then basically start sending more newsletters as they gain more attention. And if they're wrong, then hey, they'll be just be like, well, they'll just be forgotten basically, and the obvious will be happening in the market. But anyway, there was no point for that little bitchy rant on on things like that. It's not like I have a newsletter or I have any axe to grind with these guys. It's just that it's just embarrassingly obvious from my perspective what they're doing. So anyway, if you have that view, literally just put your trade on, and then if you're right, you'll make a load of money, way more money than you're going to make just from basically selling a few extra newsletters. So that's if you basically did believe that view, that's all you'd do. And if you're right, then you'd make a load of money. And that is it. Anyway, so I carried on my pointless rant. Anyway, so not much else to look at here. We did look at Bitcoin dominance. I think we did anyway. Yeah, look, pretty low. I mean, to be honest, like I said, I am expecting a squeeze down into this range before a major pullback. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for us to roll over here and start to get a pullback. But I do think this is in for a severe pullback. Maybe we do hang around in this range here for a while, whilst Bitcoin does grind its way through the levels, and then once you get above 58.5k and Bitcoin really just start to look good again, maybe that's when we'll get a natural real pullback in this. But there will be a pullback in this. I mean, nothing comes down in a straight line, and it's pretty much been straight down. Even from here, we've not had any significant upside. It's been down, sideways, and down. So there is going to be some upside in this, and well, I am bullishly biased macro for Bitcoin, so I would guess next time we get the big leg ups in Bitcoin is when it will be. But Bitcoin is clearly at the moment miles away from its highs. So realistically, you would expect Bitcoin to have a job grinding the levels out sideways and up, in which case that's going to be potentially beneficial for altcoins. The flip side is that Bitcoin does make some catastrophic moves down, and altcoins then do start to really get hit relative to Bitcoin. But also, this Bitcoin dominance is a very bifurcated market, and increasingly so now. So it is not necessarily the best thing to be trying to derive like wider market like presumptions. So just bear that in mind also. But yeah, I do think we can push down into this basically sub 40, 35 to 40% basically. Maybe trade sideways, put in a bottom, and then test some medium term upside. Like I said, things do not come down in a straight line, and it has thus far been a straight line. So those stochastics, they've got to be looking like primed for a bounce here, aren't they? Surely. 4 hour still pointing down, but at a low level, so it can get going. It could get going. Obviously, if we do basically hold where we are, start to move up. TradingView being particularly slow today. Yeah, 10 hours still pointing down, but I mean, how long can it stay down here for? You think there's going to be some upward pressure from this. Same with the 12 hour also. And the daily looking to turn back up. So I do think we are setting up for a big bounce here. And also note we are now on the daily 9, and daily 9s have worked out quite well for Bitcoin in the past. As you can see, nice daily 9 here, marked the low. This was a daily 9 here, flipped to a red 2, gave us sideways to down. This is obviously a daily 9 here, gave us that downside. Daily 9 near the top there, obviously a bit of not daily 9 here, but kind of held us sideways for a little bit, so they did have an effect on the bullish market. But yeah, we won't go back any further. Daily 9s are of note and are of consequence, so it would look, I mean, it's just so suspiciously like this here. Like this, say, it's so suspiciously a fractal of the previous price action that yeah, I mean, it would look so obvious in hindsight when we do play some upside, and maybe this time the upside does get continuation. If it doesn't, I mean, I think the underside of this trend line looks very nice for a forward check, a back check, and then a pay check. But again, we'll just play it out level by level in real time, and we shall see what happens. But obviously very extended in stochastics across lots of medium-term time frames. Daily TD sequential 9 at an important horizontal level. We've had a nice move down. I mean, you would be a brave man to be shorting at these levels here. So yeah, maybe there's not going to be too many shorters, and maybe you are going to play that pullback to the upside. So yeah, thanks for listening. This is not a financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.